Hola, Year 7. Today we're going to do a bit of Spanish history, but it's British history too. So it's something you might have heard about. We're going to do some history today, some research online. We're going to find out something new about a really important event in our history, and we're going to learn some Spanish too. So if you're a history fan, then hopefully you'll really enjoy this. But even if you're not, you'll learn something new, which is always great. So have a little look at the pictures. Any idea what we could be talking about today? You can see some text in green and a year 1588. Have a little think. If you're thinking it's the Spanish Armada, then well done. If you've not heard of that, don't worry, you're going to learn all about it today. And here are the key figures in the Spanish Armada event. It's Elizabeth I, who was Queen of England during 1588 when this happened. Philip II, he was King of Spain, and Sir Francis Drake, and we'll find out more about him too. This is during the Tudor time in Britain. So we're going to watch a video. I'm going to put the link to this video below in the video description. So you want to set up a new tab in your browser. I think you can right click on the link, open in a new tab and watch that video. You're then also going to try to answer these questions 1 to 6. Put the answers in Spanish. Sorry, don't put the answers in Spanish unless you really want to be amazing. Put the answers in English. And you can do the answers on a Word doc and you can attach it to the assignment in Google Classroom. All the instructions will be on there. And then your teachers will be able to see how you've got on. So watch the video, answer the questions, leave this video, pause this now, and so you can go between tabs to check the video and find out what the questions are as you find out the answers from the other video. And there's an extension question too at the bottom. Okay, hopefully you've seen that video now. Let's move on to the answers. There they are. So I won't read them all out, but you read through them, mark your answers on your Word doc if you've written them down. Don't forget, as teachers, we love to see what you're up to, so send it all in at the end and we can have a look. Let's move on now. And here we've got a little bit of history. So there's a link in the description below for some BBC bite-size resources. So you've got some information you can read through. You can just skip through it and read the bits you are interested in. Have a little whiz through it because there will be things there that are useful for this lesson. Then you've got a video to watch and that will give you more information and a little quiz. So give the quiz a go and see how much you've already learned about the Spanish Armada. Alright then, hopefully you marked your quiz. The answers will have been on BBC Bite Size and you've learned a bit more about the Spanish Armada now. So let's move on. And we've got some questions here. Now you might already know some of the answers from the videos that we've seen already and what you've read, but you can also research it online through Google. So pause this video and I want you to find out the answers to these questions. No cheating, but we will go through the answers in a moment. So pause this video, give it a go, and we'll go through them in a sec. Okay, And there are our answers. So again, pause this video now and give yourself a chance to go through it all. And again, as teachers, we'd love to know how you've got on. Now, here we've got a fact sheet about the English Navy and the Spanish Armada, and you can compare what sort of weaponry and equipment and navies they had when they were fighting. So on the right, you've got some Spanish statistics, and I want you to see if you can find the English on the fact sheet. So let's do the first one together. 27,000 veteranos. Now, what do we think that might mean? It's going to be something on that fact sheet. Now, mil is 1,000, but if we didn't know that, we can look at the word veteranos. Now, what does that look like on the sheet? It looks like the word veterans, doesn't it? And a veteran would be someone in the army or the navy who has already fought in a war before. So they were already experienced soldiers or sailors. So we've got it's veterans, and it says 27. Now, what number is 27? You should have learned this at the start of year 7, but if you've forgotten, 7, 20, 20. So it's 27,000 veterans, and that's the answer in English, and you can see that on the right of the fact sheet. So you can write down on your Word document 27,000 veterans and give the rest of those a go. Pause the video, you've got an extension to have a think about as well. We'd love to know your answers and your thoughts on this. You can do it all in the Word document. Pause this video now, we'll go through the answers in a sec. And now the answers. We've done the first one. The second one, 14,000 marineros, 14,000. So 14, 14, and 1,000 marineros, sailors. That word, see, marineros, it's similar to the word marine that we have in English, which is to do anything to do with the sea, like the Marines, or you could talk about being a marine biologist. That means you're a biologist and you work with the sea, or marine wildlife. So that's a word that we see sometimes in English too. 2,000 pistolas, 2,000 guns. 34 galeones, and that actually should be 34, so it's missing a Y, so if you notice that, well done. And that's 34 galleons. Galleons were these big ships that they had. And 13,000 soldados, 13,000 soldiers. Let's move on. That's it a bit closer if you wanted to have a look, and you can really compare the two, the Defence Force for England, for the Navy that they had, and the Invasion Army, the Spanish Armada from Spain. Now, you're going to have to watch some videos, follow some links here, because you've got some more information to find out, and these are going to be in the description. So what you've got to do is look at the video description below for Queen Elizabeth, open those links, go through them each, read them, or if it's a video, watch the video, and you can see there that you're going to find out some facts about Queen Elizabeth I, and also a little funny video that shows what she was known as being which was very vain and proud and really too interested in how she looked, and she thought that she was very attractive, but really history tells us that she probably wasn't. So you can find out a bit about that there. When you've done that, come back through to this video. Here we are. We're going to create a little fact file about the three main characters involved in this historical event, the Spanish Armada. And the first one is Elizabeth I of England, de Inglaterra. Now you've got there a fact file I want you to try and complete. Her name, her age, information about her family, physical description, personality, what hobbies did she have, what job did she have? Well, that one I've done for you. She was the Queen of England, la reina. So try and complete this as best as you can. You can do research online, you can use the links we've already just looked at, you can use your own research, all the stuff that we've covered today. Try and find out some information. You don't have to do full sentences. If you want to, great, but bullet points is fine too. And your extension is see if you can put some of this in Spanish, see if you can really show off with some opinion phrases about Elizabeth I. What do you think of her and why? Now it says there about grade 9 phrases, don't worry about that because that's something that you're not going to be able to find probably at home because that's something we would have done in school, so it doesn't matter at all. It just means showing off with amazing Spanish, so if you want to do that, brilliant. Now moving on, we're going to do the same for Felipe, find out about him, the King of Spain. So there's a video with facts and there's a site with useful information. Use that to help you use your own research and then create your fact file for Felipe de España. When you've done that, come back to this. We've got one more fact file to do. And here we are, the main character really of the Spanish Armada in some ways was Drake, and we've already seen that it's not the Drake that we might have seen on YouTube, it's not the Drake that we know of who's done songs, it's a historical figure who was very powerful during the year 1588 when all of this happened in England and in the sea. So we've got some information about him and in the links, and you can do your own research and then you're going to do your own fact file. So complete those 3 fact files. We'd love to see them on your Word documents. I don't want to just see copy and paste. I'd love you to put it in your own words. If you want to just do bullet points, that's absolutely fine. But let's find something out about these 3 key people in British history and Spanish history. Now we're going to move on to, you can see this painting here. This is a painting to show what the artist imagines the event of the fight between the British or the English I should say, and the Spanish might have looked like in 1588 when this happened. You can see that some of the ships are on fire, they've been shooting probably cannons and guns at each other, and the waves are quite high, it's quite stormy, and it's a very dramatic scene. So there's a little description in Spanish about the picture. What I want you to do is see if you can find those phrases for part A in that text. So for example, there are a lot of galleons in the sea. Now you might think, well, I don't know what that is in Spanish. But let's have a look. We know it's going to be a sentence, so it's one of those sentences in that paragraph. We've got the word galeones in blue there. That must be galleons. So it's safe to say that probably hay muchos galeones en el mar is the right answer, and it is. But if you needed to, you can always look up the words in Google Translate or wordreference.com to check that as well. Again, in a battle in 1588, well, you can see there's a word in blue there in that paragraph that looks like the word for battle, and the date. So these aren't quite as tricky as they look, but give them a good go, and if you can't do them all, don't worry. We're going to go through the answers in a sec. There is an extension there in yellow. I'll be really impressed if you can do that. Bottom left, you'll see you've got a list of words in blue, palabras, and that's going to help you as well. So if you can work out what those words are in blue, then that's going to make this a bit easier for you to do too. Where it says B, find all of the connectors and linking words. That's just finding words like and, but, however, anything like that you can find. Because is another good one. Also, but if you aren't sure about section B, you can leave that activity. Okay, we're going to go through the answers now. We've already done the first one. In a battle in 1588, in Spanish, that would be en una batalla en 1588. So that's 1588. You didn't need to write that down in Spanish, the numbers are fine, okay? It's a bit of a mouthful. 1588. The sky is black, el cielo es negro, el cielo es negro. You'll see that in the paragraph. Because it is very realistic. Porque es muy realista. Porque es muy realista. I would not like to be. No me gustaría ser. No me gustaría ser. And that no is obviously going to be not. And no me gustaría is a phrase that we saw during the vital phrases lesson. If you've done that one, that would have helped you. It seems to me, me parece. That's the most tricky one to find, but we do have the word me, which has got a few meanings, but basically means me, myself, same as in English. Brilliant. So that's quite tricky, and if you manage to get some of those, that's great. Let's move on. And the last thing I want you to do today is to have a think about these three characters, and I want you to imagine you're on their Twitter and you're going to write a tweet. So if you're not sure about what Twitter is, it's social media, a bit like Instagram, but instead of posting lots of pictures, you write a short paragraph, just a few sentences, about 20 words, and you can include hashtags, and you probably know what those are as well. And I want you to imagine for each person that you are them on the day that the Spanish Armada battle is going to happen, and you're going to answer the question, ¿Qué vas a hacer este fin de semana? What are you going to do this weekend? But I don't want you to tell me about you. I want you to imagine you're each of those people. So what might Elizabeth I say if you asked her what she's going to do this weekend? And it's 1588 and she's the queen. And you've got some vocab there, you can make it up. You could say, voy a ganar la batalla. I'm going to win the battle. Or if you're Francis Drake, he liked sport, you might say, voy a jugar al tenis. He's going to play tennis this weekend. You can make it up, but try and come up with something a little bit funny if you can. And you can include some hashtags, so maybe hashtag deporte, hashtag sport. It's totally up to you, or it could be something to do with the battle, so hashtag a la Armada Española, Spanish Armada. We would love to see these, so put them all in your Word document, submit them on Google Classroom, and we want to see how funny or original you can be. And that's the end of this week's work. So thanks for working so hard as always. Any questions, any problems, or anything you want to show us, put it all on Google Classroom. We'd love to see it. We'll get back to you. Have a lovely rest of the day and a fab week. Adios!